Welcome once again to this week's edition of An Irritable Person's Mailbag, during which I will slowly read to you everything you could have read for yourself Monday through Friday on my Substack, Ask an Irritable Person. Monday. Dear Irritable Person, I just can't right now. Sincerely, Procrastinating. Dear Procrastinating, I hear you. Sincerely, Irritable Person. P.S. Make sure your bills are paid and your relationships are healthy. Embrace shortcuts. And remember, odds are you used to be an even bigger mess than you are right now. P.P.S. If you just can't whatever right now, then maybe whatever is not what you're supposed to be doing right now. Consider doing something else. I know, right? Brain exploding emoji. P.P.P.S. I know, I'm very zen today. I can't help it if I'm feeling less irritable than usual. Pardon me. Tuesday. Dear Irritable Person, I watched a nature documentary last night about how all the bumblebees are disappearing. I was wowed. Bees are a lot cuter in close-up on my high-res 72-inch TV than they are in person, when they mainly provoke fear and loathing in me. Getting to see them close up, and yet infinitely far away, made me realize how gosh darn perky they are with their flashy yellow and black suits and their busy little buzzing. The documentary talked a lot about how the world would be really screwed if bumblebees disappeared. I don't want to live in a world without bumblebees. If they go, what adorable species is next? Pandas? Orangutans? Or maybe us? I'm in a state now, brother. I don't mind telling you. I'm racked with guilt over every time I've ever used a bug bomb. When I close my eyes, I see baby bees folding up their wings and legs and expiring with their sad little bug eyes fixed on my evil heart. When I was a kid, we used to worry about getting attacked by swarms of killer bees. Now we got to worry about running out of bees. The irony kind of makes me shake my head gently and wish I was dead. But things are what they are. I am hoping that if you ridicule me for my spiraling bee anxiety, you can shock me out of it. Please hurry. Thank you, Bee Nut. Dear Bee Nut, I kind of wish you were dead too, but like you said, things are what they are. Don't you know not to ask me for something you want? Have you ever read this column before? Shock you out of your spiraling bee anxiety? How about I shock you deeper into it instead? Everyone should be worried about the bees. The dwindling bumblebee population is already having a harmful effect on our ecosystems and our food supply, and therefore our economy itself. Fewer bumblebees means less cross-pollination, which leads to lower crop yields, which lowers the availability and increases the cost of fruits, vegetables, and other crops, thus disrupting ecosystems and thinning out other species as well. No, I absolutely refuse to ridicule you for your bee worries. Instead, I shall ridicule you for not getting off your oversized sofa to do something to help fix the problem, you indolent hysteric. Habitat loss, pesticide use, and climate change are the biggest causes of bumblebee homicide. And there are lots of things you can do to help solve the problem rather than wallow in it. Some of them are quite small things. You wouldn't even have to exert yourself. You don't have to buy 40 acres upstate and become a bee farmer. You can support existing bee farms by buying honey from them or, God forbid, donating to them. You can support organic farming, which doesn't use pesticides, by buying organically raised food. And as for fighting climate change, for Christ's sake, just throw a rock at Google and you'll hit dozens of things you can get involved in. Now, I personally don't do any of those things, but that's because I don't give a shit about bees, or their impact on the environment or other species, including mine. I have a poster hanging on my bedroom ceiling that says, "Let the world burn." Fortunately, since you are so goddamn concerned, you could do lots of things to help. But will you? I dare you. Shock me. Take your 12-hour-old activism and do something effective with it. Any one of those things I listed above. Do it. Stop reading this email and do it. Oh, you're still reading. What a surprise. Now that you know there are things that can be done about it, you're not quite getting the same dopamine rush of outrage, panic, and doom, am I right? I thought so. You disgust me, you and all your fellow humans. But don't think for one moment that you surprise me, useless mortal. Bzzz. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Wednesday. Dear irritable person, I have this friend who is never on time for anything, and it drives me crazy because I am always incredibly punctual. Why can't my friend be more like me? I've tried to give them advice on how to be more punctual, like me, but these helpful little life lessons are rejected, often outright, and with some degree of anger on their part. What is wrong with my friend, and how can I help them to be better? Sincerely, punctual and proud of it. Dear Punctual, well, what a self-righteous little prig you are. If you were my friend, I would show up late just to spite you. Are you sure that's not what's going on? Seriously, why can't your friend be more like you? Because if everyone was like you, the world would be a dreary place. Imagine an entire world of Italian brutalist architecture, but in beige. Your friend always shows up late. It is what it is. Do you get miffed at the sun every morning for rising in the east? How about telling your friend how you feel about them being late instead of telling them what to do? They're going to do things their way, even if it is the, quote, wrong, unquote, way. Even if it is, yes, rude to keep you waiting. You can't make them change. You don't make the rain fall. You don't make the earth spin. Let it go, lamb chop. You do you, vigorously and exclusively. Sincerely, irritable person. Thursday. Dear irritable person, toward the end of your column on May 6th, you wrote something that caught my eye. You were admonishing someone who had written to you for advice. You said, "You disgust me, you and all your fellow humans. But don't think for one moment that you surprise me, useless mortal. Bzzz." This caught my eye and made me go, Phrases like, "you and all your fellow humans," and "useless mortal," feel alienating, so to speak. Is this a literary device you're using to create distance between yourself and your readership? Or are you hinting that you are neither human nor mortal yourself? And if you are neither human nor mortal, what the hell are you? Curiously, Earthling. Dear Earthling, I'm surprised more readers didn't pick up on this. Then again, why should I be surprised? My readers, at least the ones who write to me, are navel gazers of the first order. Since I exist beyond the tip of their noses, why would they have a clue about who or what I am, or even pretend to care? Well, congratulations, you caught me. Don't forget to collect the intergalactic bounty outstanding on my ass. As you no doubt suspect, I am not of this planet. Your atmosphere does not fully meet my nutritional requirements, which is the reason I am so irritable all the time. I am an arachnid, from the planetoid you refer to as Pluto. Pluto! You stupid Earthlings gave my planet the same name as an animated character that's half dog, half I don't know what the hell. You've insulted my planetoid, and by extension me. I am offended. The hive is offended. My home world of too hard to pronounce is offended. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Wait, I'm thinking of Goofy, not Pluto. Pluto looks like a regular dog. It's Goofy who looks goofy. Never mind. Oh, and by the way, I'm kidding. I'm not an arachnid from Pluto. I'm just insane. But so are you. Keep reading. Incidentally, did you also read my column of 4/325 in which I confessed I am a compulsive liar? That doesn't mean I'm lying about being an arachnid. It means you'll never know for sure. Right up until the moment I choose to shapeshift out of my human meat sack and into my natural, beautifully pulsating, eight-legged body in front of your terrified eyes. Of course, if I do that, it won't be but a few moments before you're liquefying in my digestive sac. So my secret will remain safe with you. Bzzz, motherfucker. Sincerely, irritable person. Friday. Dear irritable person, as a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, I am very concerned about the state of the world today. When I peer carefully between the slats of my perpetually drawn blinds, I don't recognize the country I see outside my window. For starters, where did all these horseless carriages come from? Men have gone insane. I am aghast at how they dress in public. The streets used to be filled with men in suits, ties, and fedoras, even during the most humid August days. We lost a lot of good men to dehydration and heat stroke that way, but at least they died with dignity. I fear for the world that my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will inherit. I thank God that my children cut off all contact with me many years ago. I would hate to see how much they must be suffering now in our brave new world. What kind of a world are we living in when even the Pope is one quarter, I want to say mulatto. Is that the right word? You seem like a very wise person, with the same lack of patience I have toward other human beings. Tell me, please, how can we turn back the clock? Sincerely, Hell in a Handbasket. Dear Hell, if you think things are bad now, wait 3 years. But here's the good news. 3 years after that, we'll be dusting ourselves off and getting back on our feet. Again. And here's more good news. To quote a playwright you've never heard of, the world only spins forward. Granted, we seem to be in a pretty serious retrograde at the moment, but the world only spins forward. Unless we nuke or pollute ourselves into oblivion, and then, well, I guess the world will continue to spin forward, we just won't be on it anymore. Why are you so fussy about the state of the world? Have you forgotten Vietnam, World War II, the Great Depression? How would you like to drop down in the middle of World War I and sample a day or two of trench warfare? You're not old enough to remember what that was like, are you? On second thought, maybe you are. Okay, how would you like to be a peasant during the bubonic plague? Gotcha. The world is in better shape today than it ever has been in human history. That's the tragedy. Sincerely, Irritable Person. And that's it for this week's mailbag. Look for Irritable Person's weekly catch-up audio mailbag every Sunday, and follow the daily column Ask an Irritable Person every Monday through Friday on Substack. Or subscribe. It's free and virtually certain to remain so for the foreseeable future.